Turning our attention back to around March of last year, at that time, were you married?
Yes, I was.
And to whom were you married?
Nicholas Don Boat.
When did you and Nick get married?
January 1st of 2000.
Did you have children together?
Yes, we did.
How many children?
We had 2 children together.
How old are they?
Andrew is 20 years old and Emma is 18.
How did you feel when you realized on March 12th that Nick had left?
Heartbroken, sad, despondent, devastated, destroyed. Like, my whole life had just walked out the door. There weren't gonna be any more Thanksgivings or Christmases without him. He was my whole life.
What happened at Vermeer?
She parked the truck and he came out of the building and got in the truck and they ate whatever they got from Burger King, I'm assuming is what they ate, because they ate. And then he turned to her and he kissed her. And then he kissed her again.
What did you do?
I got out because I wanted to tell her. I wanted to tell her how much I wanted him back. And I wanted her to leave him. And I got out of the truck. I got out of the car. And I went around to talk to her. And I opened the truck door, and she started hitting me and screaming at me, calling me a crazy bitch.
Was there anything else that you noticed when you opened the door to the truck?
Yes, it smelled like smoke. The truck smelled like smoke, and we had purposely quit smoking to buy that truck. That's what the money we used to pay for that truck.
And so what's happening now between you and Tracy?
She was hitting me and hitting me and hitting me, and I had my hands up. She's yelling at me. And I just snapped, and I grabbed the knife, and I just stabbed her, and I dropped the knife, and I went back around the car, and went home.
Those tears started about 30 seconds into her direct examination and lasted throughout much of her testimony. Now, as you know, trials are about the facts and the law. We talk about it all the time here on Court TV. The facts, the jury determines what the facts are in each case, but it's based upon what the evidence is. And the evidence comes in forms of physical things and exhibits, but also the testimony of the witnesses, like the defendant, Michelle Boat. So, if, in fact, the jury takes her at her word and believes what she says, does it help her case? Well, let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, who is in Knoxville, Iowa for all of this today. What a day, by the way, Chanley. But let's start here with the big picture on all of this, okay? So this is the only evidence for the defense that they are presenting themselves. So if this jury believes everything that Michelle Boat said, how does that help her case legally?
Well, legally, like her attorney said in opening, they're asking for something much less than premeditated murder, which would send her away for life without parole here in Iowa. They're asking for manslaughter. Here in the state of Iowa, that's voluntary or involuntary manslaughter. They're meaning the voluntary manslaughter. That is the sudden passion murder. That is when she was provoked as a serious provocation, immediately has this irresistible passion to kill. She kills someone. And the caveat with that, Vinny, is that there's no sort of cooling off period as what's provided under the law. No time for her to step back and do what a reasonable person would have done, which is change his or her mind and not choose to murder someone. So that is what she is hoping this jury believes by saying over and over again that she snapped. She didn't remember. She just sort of was not in her right mind, as she told the jury today, that she was being hit repeatedly by Tracy Mondabaugh, that she had her glasses knocked off, she was being scratched and hit in the face, and she just turns into her car, grabs through the window the knife, and chooses to stab Tracy Mondabaugh in this heat of passion, if you will. So if the jury believes what Michelle Boat hopes they do, then maybe possibly they could come back with manslaughter, which would be much less, Vinny, only up to 10 years, and likely with her lack of criminal history, something much less.
So it comes down to the moment, right? So the defense case really is focusing on the moment of that interaction, not what led up to it, not, phone messages, not the jealousy, not the hatred, not the bitterness, any of that. It's just the moment of that confrontation or that interaction, whatever you want to call it at this moment. So for her telling this story, were there parts that she just didn't remember that would undermine this whole defense? And because I'm thinking back to other cases where people have testified. And, of course, Jodi Arias comes to mind, and she was kind of in self-defense mode with her testimony. But then there were moments where she went into this thing called the fog, where she just didn't remember. So was there the equivalent of the Michelle Boat fog? Were there moments of this whole, this killing that she just, at the time of her testimony, just doesn't remember things?
Not necessarily. Not that what I picked up on. I felt like she could recall most of those details. She remembers that during this tussle or struggle that her glasses are knocked off. She goes and retrieves her glasses. She remembers even after the fact that she grabbed Tracy Mondabaugh's purse and strung all the contents out of the purse just to see if she had cigarettes in her purse, because that truck smelled like cigarettes, and she knew that Nick Boat would not be smoking in that truck because they quit smoking to help pay for the truck. So she was even blaming Tracy Mondabaugh for the fact that he was smoking she was smoking in that truck that belonged to her and her estranged husband. She remembers also wiping blood or her hair, doing the motion that the eyewitness told the jury about the other day, and wiping her hair off her face that was covered in blood. She's very detailed in her account of what she remembers. Really, the only thing she's saying is that she was just out of her mind, out of her head. And I know that you brought up the fact that they want to focus on that moment, but I think also the defense wants the jury to consider those past 69 days or so, because this was almost like a buildup, if you will. It was a buildup of all of these things happening, and at that moment, that sudden provocation was just too much for her to handle, and she just couldn't resist this urge to take action in that moment.
And is the provocation being hit allegedly by the victim in this case when she opened her door, or is the provocation the fact that she sees them together. What exactly do we believe will be the argument as to what provoked this all and was so sudden that she could not resist that impulse?
That's a bit unclear, but I'm sure the prosecution will say those two kisses between Nick and Tracy Mondabaugh, but that was minutes before this happened. Remember, that's at the Mirror, the workplace. She had continued to follow Tracy all the way to this apartment building, behind the apartment building. I've been there. You have to go behind and down the alley, down a hill to get back behind this apartment building where the garage is, where she was murdered. So I'm thinking that the defense is going to argue that it was a more immediate provocation. Yes, it was built up over time and even the night before, but in that moment had to be when she swung the door open to confront Tracy. Tracy was immediately combative, calling her a crazy B word and hitting her and attacking her, in the words of Michelle Boat, and that would have been the provocation. Plus, in addition to smelling the cigarette smoke, she pointed to that in her testimony, that really irked her, that provoked her, because she knew that that was wrong and that was Tracy's fault. And also, Vinny, the location. That apartment was apparently where Michelle Boat and Nick Boat first lived 21 years ago when they first got together. So that was even more of a slap in the face, if you will, to Michelle Boat, and according to her testimony.
All right, that's the direct. Chanley Painter staying with us. When we come back, we'll take a look at the cross-examination, because you know there's nothing like when a criminal defendant accused of murder is on the witness stand and the prosecutor has an opportunity for cross-examination. You'll see that when we return.